Hey, hey, hey! Hi guys and welcome to my channel. I'm just trying to work this hat and this fur. I know it's a bit Alexis Colby, a bit too much, but what the heck, girls, you know, it's been sitting in my wardrobe waiting for an occasion. And I thought, what the heck? Them girls at Chengi's World could do with a little bit of a hat day. Oh, forgive me. I am having a bit of a mad moment. I bought this many years ago and I've actually never worn it. I just can't seem to get my head around it. And I've been doing a lot of hats lately, which is kind of quite cool. Maybe I should do a tutorial on hats because I just think they're just the best winter accessory, and a little bit of fur never hurt anybody. But anyway, this is not a fashion video, but I did want to talk to you guys about a really fun topic, which is age ain't nothing but a number, girl. Hell to the no. One of the things that I have done in my life is when I was younger, I used to be really attracted to older men. I used to have this thing, and I put that down to some daddy issues, you know what I'm saying? So I was always into guys who were twice my age or more. I just found them sexy, and I think I liked the security that they seemed to have. They weren't like boys my age. They had cars and that stuff, you know. As much as I was close to my dad, I think I was always looking for him in guys. And I remember a time when I was actually even attracted to bald-headed men with big tummies. I remember thinking they were just the cutest, sexiest men ever. For a long time, I just used to find bald-headed men with a tummy really sexy. But I do put that down to daddy issues, just wanting to find a little bit of a dad, really. And for a long time, I really was drawn to older men to the point where I thought that I would really marry a much older guy. Turns out that the guys that I did date, my first boyfriend, I think I must have been 17 and he was 25, and I was very comfortable in that relationship. I didn't feel like the younger one who was being manipulated. I actually felt like we're on the same wavelength. I quite liked it. I loved the fact that he had a job and a car and he could pick me up from college and we could do stuff that felt more comfortable. And I think I've always been an older soul. I remember my friends sort of saying, gosh, you're like 18 turning 40. I've always been an older soul. I think I've always had sort of insights that were so much older than me. I always saw the world from a finished place, like I'd been here before, and I knew how it goes. And even though I am going to be 40 this year, I feel like I was 40 years ago. So it's not like a shock to me at all. And I do remember you know, sort of that sort of being drawn to older guys, and fortunately or unfortunately, as the case may be, my ex-husband was only 2 years older than me, but he was an old soul as well. But post-marriage, after I got divorced, I dated guys who were my age, younger than me, older than me, and different ages. And one of the things I learned from that, you know, of course, I thought, you know, younger guys would be more fun. And I didn't date many younger guys because I just don't find boyish men attractive. So if you are younger, I did sort of date someone who was slightly younger, who was, I think, about 4 years younger. But he was sort of grown, because you get to that age where, you know, if you're 38 and the guy's 33 or whatever, it's not like a big deal because you're pretty much in the same sort of place in life. He was probably the youngest guy, but I could see some of his youth through, you know, he just wanted to go off and do stuff. And I was at that point in my life where I'm like, I'm establishing stuff and I'm building stuff. I just can't up and leave. I've got things that I'm doing and I'm building my business and I'm doing a few things, and I just don't need to be in a situation where, you know, I am sort of being rushed off my feet to you know, to do fun stuff. And I think that was the old soul in me. But I'd hope that he would sort of bring out the young person in me, that sort of youthful, playful person, which I am. I'm quite cheeky and quite playful, but I don't mess with life. Like, I don't mess with life, like real life issues. I'm all over that. I'm on top of that. I make sure that I don't make any boo-boos like that unless I totally have to. And I think through a lot of things, and I think and rethink things through. So I'm not reckless when it comes to real life issues, but I like a bit of fun, and I am the life and soul of any party, and I am Miss Happy-Go-Lucky in general. So you know, he didn't last very long, and I dated guys who were my age. And then I dated a guy who was much older. I think he was good 10, 12, 13 years older, and that was really nice. Again, I think I'm one of those girls who's just more comfortable with that older, more established guy. You know, I like a guy who's just settled in himself, and he was older, but I'm not sure if he was older, if that makes sense. He was in years older, but he wasn't mature mentally to his age. He was still, I think he was in a sort of early to mid 50s and still looking for a good time. I think the girlfriend before me was half his age, like 23 or something, and I think he fell in love with her, and I think he was still looking for her in other women, and so wasn't ready to settle for somebody in his lane. So he was kind of playboy, sort of drove the convertible Jag, and, you know, just kind of on that whole sort of tip, which I sort of thought as a 39-year-old was kind of cool. I still needed to feel that youth, you know. But what I learned from the various age groups that I have dated is that age really truly ain't nothing but a number. I believe that maturity is something that is taught, is something that one catches, something that one strives to have. And I sometimes sit down with my 10-year-old son, and when I speak to him, my conversation with him, sometimes I'm surprised at the 10-year-old who's speaking back to me, because he is so wise, so insightful, so he's like a little boy version of me and his dad. He thinks like a grown-up, and I think it's probably symptomatic of being an only child and being around adults all the time. His mind is geared like an adult, but I know that he already goes into the world with a more mature point of view, and so he will always be more mature than his peers, and so, you know, a maturity has, you know, I know people who are in their 50s, 60s who could be 12, you know, in their outlook on life, the way they approach life. And so I realized that really it's about dating somebody who is within your wavelength, somebody who is in your mental and emotional wavelength. And that can be anything. You know, I get the older women that date 20-something-year-olds. I think, you know, there are other things that I could say about that, in that he will eventually want what men in their 30s want, which is family and children. And, you know, if you're the Demi Moore and what's his face situation, of course it was bound to happen. I always think there is a limit as how low you can go, and it has to sort of make sense, because it's just a broken heart up ahead. But there are guys who are that young but have their head screwed on and know how to treat a woman right, and I can see how a woman would fall into that. But you have to be wise enough to know that he's not going to be satisfied with what you have to offer forever. Eventually you will become the older woman, and whilst this works for some people, it doesn't work for everyone. I think that sometimes I have seen the young girl with the much older guy, and yeah, sometimes you think, oh. But again, it's because they're vibing at a level. So my thing is to always say, sort of reserve judgment, and be open. And the only way you're going to know what sort of age range works for you is really quite simply by dating those different age groups, and sort of, you know, if you date online, sort of expand your bandwidth of age and just experience it and sort of get to discover what I believe you will discover that I did is it's all about your vibration and your frequency. Are you guys broadcasting from the same place? Because you know, it's very challenging if you're somebody like me who's always been into the older guy, and then you realize that he is older in years but not necessarily in maturity, which kind of sucks a bit. So that's sort of my sort of contribution to this is, you know, be open-hearted and be open-minded. If you have been trying, or you have sort of mental blocks on age, perhaps you want to loosen them a little bit and open your heart to love, whatever age it comes in. And I guess it starts by not judging others, because the same judgment you give to others is the same judgment that comes back. So when you see a couple that has a bit of an age difference, instead of sort of judging and deciding, you know, how it's all working out, then it's probably best for you to sort of be open-hearted and open-minded and be like, you know what, maybe it works for them, and maybe I need to change my scope. And maybe I don't think, you know, I would at this stage in my life be in a club with 20-something-year-olds, but if I were at a business thing and I was dealing with somebody who was 29, established, has their life together, or somebody who's in their early 30s and has their life established and they've got it together and they've got things, and, you know, they're moving on my frequency, I'm not sure I would dismiss them because of their age. So whilst I wouldn't go out looking for a younger guy, or particularly looking for a really older guy, I don't sort of go out looking for any type nowadays. I'm just sort of open-hearted and open-minded. I would say if that has been a bit of a block for you, maybe your guy is just slightly younger than you thought, and maybe your guy is slightly older than you thought. So keep open-hearted and open-minded. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much for watching. And trying to record this with this hat on, girl. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Make sure you've subscribed, like and comment, and check out my other channel, Makeup by Chengi. I haven't put many videos on there yet because I'm just still waiting to resolve lighting issues, but I will be working on that and sort of replicating a lot of the looks that you see on this channel, and I'll see you soon. So take care of yourself. Bye bye.